Welcome to the Lock Shop with Nielson and Hustler, powered by Coolbet Canada.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lock Shop on a Wednesday. Thank you very much for being here. Dustin Nielson with you. Hustle will be by shortly. We're going to recap the poker event last night. It was a lot of fun. Trev, can you get the way I went out again in the poker tournament? Can we play that again? Load that back up. We'll get to that here. The poker tournament was a lot of fun last night for Coolbet. At least it was fun. I was hitting some hands, and then just, man. I don't even know what to say about it. The way I went out was awful. Trevor, load that up, and maybe we'll play that before we really kind of dive into anything here. But the Lock Shop is live. If you're watching over on YouTube today, hammer the thumbs up for us. I do love seeing. I just looked at this inbox. Somebody, this is nice. This came in 9:09. I drove from Edmonton to Big White, BC, 12 and a half hours door to door, and I brought your beer to enjoy when I arrived. You guys are doing amazing. Thanks for bringing so much joy to all of us listening every day. Oh, boy. That's real nice. Thank you very much for that message. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999. And yeah, we'll recap the video. This is not the video I went out on. This is not the hand I went out on, but it was the hand that totally put me on the edge, and I was on tilt after that. I still had I think 14,000 chips or something after, but I was completely rattled. So we'll get into that, but a lot of fun. I mean, the poker events are always a really good time. So if you were with us last night, that's a lot of fun. Jason Leduc says he took Hustler's bounty. Now tell me what to bet on. Well, Jason Leduc, that's exactly what we're going to do today. We will tell you what to bet on. So we'll get into that. Shout out to the guys who were tailgating during the 6 o'clock Christmas party today. Rip City Step, VR Montenegro, Rob in the Grove, Dustin with a Y, Fergie. Literally, it's like minus 20 outside, and those guys were outside for the entire show, sitting there listening to the show. It was amazing. Full blown tailgate, minus 20. People are nuts. So that was pretty good. All right. Bronco Nick popped by this morning. It looked like a really good time. All right, let's bring in Huss. He's here. He's ready to go. We're talking some hockey from last night. We're talking poker right now, Huss. I think were you watching when I got that flush and the guy had the ace-6 and I had the king-10?
Yeah, I was watching. It was hilarious,
buddy.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw him flip over his cards, I was like, "Oh no!" This is not what
No flush.
Yeah, that sucked.
That was harsh. I will say you didn't handle it well.
No. I took that was the end of my game. I still had a decent amount of chips. But I was the end
totally
of it.
in it. You're totally in it. I'm saying to myself, what is he doing?
Oh, yeah.
He did not just lose. It was a minor thing. Listen, I had, and it was did Jason? Yes.
Jason Jill, and Leduc says he took you out. Yeah.
Bill for Esty.
Yeah.
Did take me out. Pocket nines versus pocket queens. That was low. I had to make a move, and he got me. But the funny thing is, and I don't play regularly enough, like many of us used to remember just how dangerous sometimes good hands are.
Oh yeah.
Like my downfall was getting pocket aces.
Oh no.
I went pocket aces versus ace king, and king 4 came up on the yep.
Really?
And then my pocket kings was that was where I lost the majority of my funds when I had really good hands. It wasn't being a dummy or whatever. But no, who won? Do we know?
Actually, it was Trev's uncle that ended up winning.
Trev's uncle?
Trev's uncle ended up winning last night. So Tommy Gazzola had like a 20,000 chip lead at one point.
Oh, how long did he last?
He ended up going out 8th.
8th, okay.
And Iwanek finished 9th. So the boys made a run last night. Yeah, the boys made a little bit. At one point, Tommy was in 1st, Matty was in 3rd, and I was in 5th. We were actually doing pretty well. And then I did. So anyway, for anybody who missed it last night, we have the video of my my collapse here. Yeah, and then let me just give you what I was thinking, because I was sitting there. I had the king 10 of spades. I'm looking at a flush off the flop. I mean, the other guy would have had to have the spades, pocket spades as well, with an ace to beat me. So, and I actually say, this is why I feel bad, because I said, well, I'm just going to take the rest of his chips And then he ends up flipping over the ace six. And then another spade comes up anyway. But anyway, here's what happened to me last night in this in the poker tournament. Here it is. Oh, a raise. You know what? I'm going to take the rest of Sharksoft's money right now. All in. He's going to call. Oh, no! Oh! 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 Oh, did that just happen? 2 flushes. He had the ace high. I had the king high. That was the only card that could beat me. Shit! Oh! Oh! That sucked. Yes, it did. Gambling, poker is a dangerous game, Huss. It's a dangerous game.
Well, I mean, the second that the 4th spade came out, normally you would have been nervous that someone has the ace of spades, but right off the bat with 3, that was unfortunate. But again, there was only $4,000. Like that was nothing.
Oh, wasn't it like 8? I think the pot was 8. You're right. I was down 4. It didn't matter. Yeah. You're right. I lost my composure, Huss. The guy who beat me, Andrew's in the chat. Andrew's in the chat. He goes, "Hey, so sorry. That was my flush." I mean, I thought I had I didn't have the nuts, but there's only one card that could have been the nuts.
The best thing is when you have a good hand and someone has another really good hand, just not good enough. And that's what it was. Anyways, a big thanks to everyone that's joined us. So we've done 5 of these. They're so much fun. I will admit it was awesome last night from our end here in the Pegs,
Jets
of having the game on at the same time. Kind of playing a little bit, watching what's happening on the game, back and forth. It was great. So a very successful launch of the Lock Shop Poker Series through 2024, and looking forward to many more in 2025. You guys had quite the party this morning. I'm looking at these pictures that LeBlanc made for you guys. This is some serious
art. How sick are those, buddy? That's oil paintings. Those are oil paintings. That's oil paintings on a canvas. So he just we'd never met him before. He randomly popped by this morning. He goes, "I made these for you guys." And they were wrapped. We opened them up and we almost pissed our pants. Like today was our 6 o'clock Christmas party because it was our last show together before Christmas. I'm done today. Eric's done tomorrow. So we get into it a little bit and we give each other presents and people are dropping off presents. And those are unbelievable. We already got a spot where we're gonna put them up. It's gonna look great.
So this is our last show together of 2024.
Yes, it is us. I guess that's correct. Yeah, I'll miss you. By the time we come back, the Chiefs would have lost on Christmas Day again.
And clinched the number 1 seed.
It's still clinched.
hey, you know what? By the way, I hope some of you had the good
swing?
sense.
Yeah.
I hope some of you had the good sense to listen to me yesterday and realize that the Chiefs as an underdog wasn't gonna last. I got them at even money yesterday. They're now minus 167. They were 2-point underdogs yesterday. They're now 3-point favorites.
So it swung 5. Remember we were talking yesterday? We're like, what's it going to go, 5 or 6? Thought maybe it would get to 4. Got to 3. And minus 167 on the money line is still a pretty nice number. And you got them at even money.
Yeah, I think minus 102 was the number. And by that time, it had gone down to, I think, 1 point or something like that. The minute I heard that Mahomes is a full participant in practice, it was go time. And that was the benefit of being online at that time. I was sort of monitoring the number throughout. Now, are you doing Spengler again?
No. Actually, I decided to dial it back this year. I could have done it. It was kind of like my tournament until I didn't want it. And for a couple different reasons. Though the main one being that I just didn't want to miss Christmas with my kids again. Like they're 9 and 7. I haven't been around for Christmas since my daughter was like 2 years old. So I told them I was staying home for Christmas, and even the Muzz was like, she's 7. She goes, "I can't remember a Christmas you were home." I was just like, okay. So it was the right decision. I'd done a lot of good things over at Spengler. Like I got to call Davos win. I got to call Ambry Piota win, who hadn't won anything like 90 years. People were in tears in the crowd. if I didn't have kids, I would do the Spengler forever. But I decided to step back this year and stay home for Christmas. So I'm going back to Cranbrook for like the first time at Christmas in like 8 or 9 years. We're going to be there with my sisters are coming in. We're having like a big family Christmas. So it'll be pretty fun.
Well, that'll be fun. Once again, I completely cement my victory as Lock Shop Host of the Year, the workhorse.
You are the workhorse.
I will be here throughout. Guys just gone for a month. Comes back for a week. Don't worry. I got it. I will be here for you people. I think I want it. There's 2 days that we've got. Next Monday is a really weird day for us.
Yeah, the 23rd.
Because the 23rd, which is, most people will be on the air doing shows. We will be. The Jets play the Leafs at 1:00 on Monday afternoon. Weird.
In Winnipeg?
In Toronto.
Really?
In Toronto. I guess that'll probably be their kids' game or something.
Yeah, like a 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 2 days before Christmas game.
2 o'clock start, 1:00 here. So we're going to do a little something before the game. And then we've been working on some stuff for the 24th, 25th, 26th that we're going to be putting out that people are going to absolutely love. I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah.
But some of our favorite and most legendary WST guests and personalities
beautiful
coming in for some stuff that we'll put out. But Awanik's going to handle the show.
I do like the idea of there being an SD for just the Lock Shop Host of the Year, and it's only ever you or me, and you basically win because I'm freaking gone all the time. that'd be funny.
Literally the least you guys can do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. At the Esties next year, we'll fly in for the Esties, Lock Shop Host of the Year. It's just you and me, and you win. That is kind of funny, actually. I like that idea. We'll have to keep that one in mind. That's good. All right. There's a bunch to get to. I want to talk Cody Fajardo trade for sure, but I want to get to the NHL last night because the Los Angeles Kings losing to the Penguins in overtime. Your Devils play was good. My Capitals play was good last night. What was our third one on the parlay? Because we didn't take the Caps. It was...
No. The Caps was not good, Dustin.
Did they blow that game?
Did you not see the third period?
No, it was 2-1 last time I checked.
Oh, 3-2 Chicago.
No.
Yes.
What? The Hawks had an ace of spades. I didn't even know it.
The Hawks down 2-0 going into the third, score 3 and beat the Capitals. We do not try. Listen, I think, thank God, that was a perfect further reminder that teams just do not do anything in Chicago, and the Blackhawks are getting a whole bunch of unsuspecting wins against good teams at home.
The Hawks had 5 shots in the third period, scored on 3 of them to win 3. I thought for sure, even when it was 2-1, I was like, it doesn't matter, it's done. I didn't even check that game this morning. Holy smokes. I was just actually so angry with the Kings last night letting us down that I didn't even bother checking any of the other scores after that.
Yeah, no,
God.
It ended up being the comeback by the Penguins and an OT win, which can go either way.
No, it was regulation, buddy. It was regulation.
Pittsburgh won an OT.
Oh, the Pittsburgh game. Okay, sorry, I thought you were talking Hawks still.
Yeah, the Hawks. But luckily that wasn't on the ticket.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, Pittsburgh got the win. Those OT games, and that's why often we'll go with the money line. So we still have the opportunity to win it in the extra slate. But Pittsburgh got that done. So that was a little unfortunate. The my slump buster parlay was a little premature. The slumps continue. The Rangers get shut out in Nashville. Congratulations to Nashville on their 9th win of the season. Double digits in your future at some point moving forward. But oh my God, dude, the Buffalo Sabres.
What are you going to do here?
The day after the owner flies there to meet with them, the solution is in this room. Well, it wasn't in that room last night. Line A gets the hat trick. My poor fantasy goalie, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, continues to take L's.
Is he your only fantasy goalie, or do you have 2?
No. I've got Bob.
Okay.
And but we start 2 a week.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that I had the foresight earlier this year with the scarcity of goalies to grab Mackenzie Blackwood for my bench. Because he's going to, I think, start getting the majority of work for the Avalanche as we get into the new year, and he could be a guy. But I mean, it's fun talking about the Sabres right now from other markets' perspective in that, what can you get from Kevin Adams? I mean, they have to do something, don't they? But man, I mean, you trade one of those young players and make a bad move, and it just compounds it. It's a disaster.
I would not allow that guy to do anything. I would fire him immediately. Like I went off on our show this morning. Why is Kevin Adams the general manager of the Buffalo Sabres? He's been there for 4 years. They're awful. He brought back Lindy Ruff. He never was qualified to be the GM in the first place. If you go back and look at his history, he was an assistant coach in Buffalo who got fired. Then
he was in the finance department.
Well, yeah, the Pagulas hired him to run their hockey academy, and then he was promoted to manager of the building where the hockey academy was. Then he went into business administration in 2019. Then for some reason was named the general manager in 2020. Like he was not qualified for this job in the first place. He hasn't been qualified for it the entire time. He hasn't gotten any better at the job. And every time I hop on Twitter, I don't see any, like, Kevin Adams should be fired. Like, obviously he's super tight with the owner, or else he wouldn't have got the job in the first place. But I'm sorry. Like, when an organization is this pathetic and you've had a general manager who's been there for 4 years and only got hired because he's a friend in the first place, he should be fired right now. Like, that's the easy place to start. And I don't know why he's still the GM. I honestly, he should be fired. He should have been fired 2 weeks ago.
I don't understand a lot of things of what's going on in Buffalo. All I know is that I feel sick for the fans there. And I mean, you look at how insane they are for the Bills right now. I mean, just imagine how fired up and excited those people would be. I mean, you've got a generation of Sabres fans that have never seen a playoff game. Not even close. So right on. By the way, I've got to do a quick shout out in the chat. George Conlon. Forgot about this one. Huss, thanks for the tip on Travis Hunter. On a $5 bet, I won $200.
Oh,
that was that preseason 40 to 1.
I was gonna say, that's a long time ago, right?
I mean, that number went down big time. George, nice work. Nice work. That'll be one of the better lock shop tips of the year for sure.
Hutchie, what do you think happens with him in the NFL? Does he play both sides of the ball in the NFL too?
I mean, not like, I don't think he'll be out there as a regular member of offense and defense. Yeah. I think they'll find, I mean, with it being a receivers league and, obviously about scoring points, I think he becomes a regular on the offense. And then I think he probably works in with the defense situationally, goes up against guys, maybe some high leverage plays can go in to support the defense. I mean, this is the NFL. I mean, you're not playing North Dakota State and Fresno. I mean, you're going up against, real legit teams. And listen, if they get him, like, I think there's a good chance that he ends up in New England, which is actually kind of funny to me. Because if it stays the way that it is right now, and you can see in the futures, it's the Giants and the Raiders have the inside track on the top 2 picks. And I think if that happens, we are probably talking about Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders going 1-2. Now, I think the Giants right now, if they lose out, they'll have the number 1 pick. From all of the talk that we've heard, I think Shedeur and Dion, I think they really are hoping that he ends up in Vegas. And like, there's just so much to it. I'll be fascinated to see how he works out as an NFLer, because I think there's a lot of baggage around him just with Dion and but to me, if Cam Ward goes to the Giants, Shedeur goes to the Raiders, and the Patriots are on the clock at 3, which if these teams lost out, which was the way that would be, I think New England gets, an incredible impact receiver, a guy that can help you on the defensive side of the ball, really jack of all trades. I don't really think of him as a New England guy, but I mean, he'll be in high demand. He's not going to last out of the top 5, I don't think, for sure. And listen, I mean, he just won the Heisman Trophy, did some things that no one's done in a long time. Certainly was pushed and good on Dion. I mean, if you want to be a guy that's supporting your players, I mean, it was ridiculous at times. I mean, we'd see them throwing. They basically played their games like Madden. I mean, they're up 24 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and they're throwing bombs on third down. But again, they wanted to get the numbers. He wanted to pump up his son. He wanted to get Hunter the Heisman. All of that happened. So yeah, those two could very well hear their names called 2 of the first 3, and Dion will be the proud dad. And then Shedeur goes to Vegas, and we just hear every single week, is Dion going to be the next coach?
Yeah. We will hear that a lot.
I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. It would be an epic disaster in true Raider fashion, and I would be here for it.
I want to stick with a young quarterback thought here for a second. I'm in the semifinals of my 2 most committed leagues. And in the big boy league, as I call it, I had the most fab left. And I've been running Jared Goff and Cooper Rush as my quarterbacks and quarterback and superflex spots. I had more fab than anybody. So I did pick up Penix in this start against Atlanta, or to start for Atlanta at home against the Giants. So do you think I should start Penix at home against the Giants, or just go Cooper Rush at home against the Bucs in a game in which the game script could lead to Cooper Rush having an okay game again?
Big Penix energy.
I know.
In his first game
against the Giants at home. They're favored by 9. Like, I'm tempted. I also picked up Jalen McMillan, actually, and I might start him ahead of Jerry Jeudy. But I'm tempted to roll with Penix. But with that being said, Cooper Rush has been relatively steady. Like, he hasn't had a big week, but he's been delivering like 17 to 21 fantasy points on the regular, which is nothing to shake a stick at. But I'm wondering if Penix, if he's as advertised, they have weapons there. If I don't start him and I hear like Penix lights up the Giants,
first game in the league. It's his first game in the league.
But it's the Giants. So how do you balance that?
Oh, God. I don't know. It would take some big stones to go with him as a start in the fantasy playoffs, in the game that you need to win to get to the finals in his first start. I'd probably stay with Cooper Rush. But
I would think Rush is going to be in a game where he's going to have to throw the ball. I mean, Baker Mayfield's going to score on the Dallas Cowboys. So
there's no doubt about it. Well, let me ask you this.
I'm torn on this one.
So obviously I've dropped Kirk Cousins. I did pick up the guy that I beat last week, dropped Matthew Stafford.
Okay.
So I had, this is a contract league. I dropped David Montgomery because he's on IR.
Yeah.
So I basically had a bunch of money that I wasn't using. So I put it all in and picked up Stafford. So I've got Jaden Daniels, but he's playing against Philly.
Oh, I know.
I've got a banged up Mahomes going up against Houston, or I can go Matt Stafford against the Jets on a little bit of extra rest, playing the Thursday night game last week. Like, I have to think that this is going to be a big Cooper Kupp game. The Jets do have a pretty good defense, though, at least secondary. They haven't been able to stop the run for shit all year.
I mean, you're right. It's true. But like Brian Thomas last week went off for like 26 fantasy points against the Jets defense. You know what I mean? Like, you can throw on the Jets defense. Sauce Gardner is not Sauce Gardner anymore. You know what I mean? Like, there's, I just went and looked quickly as you brought this up because I'm dealing with a Jaden Daniels decision myself in the Big Boy League. Fantasy pros right now, their quarterback rankings for this week: Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Lamar, Joe Burrow, and Jaden Daniels, even in a tough matchup against Philadelphia. Then you got Baker, Kyler, Darnold, Jordan Love, Brock Purdy, probably too high, Jared Goff, Bo Nix, Tua, Anthony Richardson, then Stafford. Man, I'd be tempted to play Stafford if I was you. Like, I have Russell Wilson as my other option, and he's got the Ravens this week. I told you about this yesterday. Like, I know they still very high on Jaden Daniels, but I think that's it's a tough matchup against Philly. Really is.
It's tough. It's tough to take Daniels out. And the one thing, he might have to run all day. I mean, he might end up with 70 or 80 rushing yards, which could be good.
I feel like he's been running the ball a little bit more over the last few weeks too than he was. There was that stretch where he wasn't running much in the middle of the season, but
yeah, it's so nice. We cashed that over rushing yards in what, week 9, week 10?
Yeah, that was at 550. Wasn't it 550?
It was a thing of beauty. Here's a similar quarterback situation. Russell Wilson, CJ Stroud, Bryce Young. Young at Arizona. I started him last week. He only got me 11 points, but none of my quarterbacks did anything. I mean, ESPN has Young projected at 13, Stroud projected at 14, and Russ projected at 50. The one thing when you look, I mean, the Ravens secondary hasn't been good this year. Like they've been good against the run. They haven't been that good against the pass.
Yeah, I think I'd probably go Russ there.
I feel a lot better about Russ if Pickens plays. Yeah. And that, I don't know whether we're going to really know.
Yeah, we got to monitor this Pickens situation because Russ with Pickens is a little bit of a different beast, and the Ravens can be thrown on. Yeah. I mean, I'm probably just going to ride with Daniels anyway, but he's had a few really good weeks. I'm afraid he's due for a tough one against a good team here. So, we'll see.
I already feel like I'm playing with house money after disposing of a team that had Josh Allen and Devontae Adams.
That's true.
Last week.
You might just be a team of destiny, as you said yesterday. Hey, let's stick with football and quarterbacks, but flip over to the Canadian Football League. Then we'll get to the NHL slate tonight.
Hey, just quickly, before we get off NFL, just wanted to a quick update on a few lines. I referred to this earlier. The Chiefs line's completely flopped. Yeah. Now that it looks like Mahomes is going to play, it's at -3 right now, and -167. This Broncos-Chargers game tomorrow night is shaping up to be a good one. Basically, whoever wins this game can pretty much book their ticket to the playoffs and start getting ready for the wild card weekend. Chargers 2.5-point home favorites in this one. Ravens are still 6-point favorites at home to the Steelers. The Falcons have gone, now it's 8.5 with the news that panic. So not really a big change, down 0.5 point. Arizona laying 4 on the road in Carolina. Your Lions, your banged up Lions, are 6.5-point favorites in Chicago against the Bears. Cincy, 7.5-point favorites against the Browns. The Colts, 3.5-point home favorites against Tennessee. Oh man, some ugly matchups this week.
Yeah, there is.
Rams and Jets. The Rams, 3.5 at plus money. If you go to 3, it's -120. The Eagles are only 3.5-point favorites against the Commanders in the road. That is such a number.
Yeah, and it hasn't moved since yesterday, right? We discussed it at 3.5 yesterday.
No, I mean they're 304. In fact, 3 is -125 for the Eagles. So I guess they're thinking it'll be a close game. That'd be great for those of us with Jaden Daniels that might be needing him. The Vikings are 3-point favorites in Seattle. Still waiting on confirmation on what Geno Smith's status is for this week. The Bills, 14-point favorites against the Patriots. Raiders, 1-point favorites against the Jags.
Weren't the Jags a favorite yesterday? Because we were laughing at that. We're like, the Jags on the road. I thought they were like a 1 or 2-point favorite yesterday. I think there's been at least 2-point movement in that game.
That is.
Was that because the quarterback might end up playing? I know he's listed as I know he's listed right now as like he's not listed as out yet. So I'm wondering if that's where that is.
You know what? He might be really trying to get into the lineup quickly. Did you hear what happened at the showdown yesterday?
No.
So it was this head-to-head matchup between Rory and Scotty Scheffler versus Bryson and Brooks.
Yeah.
And someone that I follow that covers golf was there, and Brock Bowers was all VIP'd up inside the ropes. And then poor AOC, the starting quarterback, didn't get the VIP and was outside just with a beer, like with the rest of the fans.
Brock Bowers can't get his own guy in. Like, man. Hey, where was that? Where was that? What was that on? Where could we watch that?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I sort of looked it up afterwards.
I would have liked to have watched it if I knew it was happening. Like, I knew it was happening. I didn't know it was happening yesterday.
Neither did I. I just saw a bunch of things. Oh, okay. Tuesday night. So that's good. 3 other games. The Dolphins 1.5-point favorites over the Niners at home. Tampa -4 in Dallas. At least we got a half decent. I mean, not that we want to watch the Cowboys anymore, but the Bucks are fun to watch. That's the Sunday nighter. And then Packers at home. Oh my God, the Packers are 14-point favorites on Monday Night Football. Yikes.
Yeah.
How about this NFL schedule next week? Only one day off. We go Monday Night Football.
Right. And then nothing Tuesday.
Off,
and
2 huge days. And I mean, you got to think that there'll be a lot of people that have guys on the Chiefs, certainly guys on the Ravens that are playing in the fantasy finals.
Yep.
And I mean, they're playing on 3 days rest. It's like a Thursday nighter, essentially, in 3 days and 3 games in 11 days. So anyways, those are that's everything that's up there. And I'm just looking. Most of the futures from yesterday are pretty much the same. I thought there might be some more movement on the coach of the year. That has not happened. Comeback player of the year is the same. So jump on those futures right now if you want to get them before kickoff tomorrow night. Okay, Cody Fajardo and MBT.
Wait, just quickly, Big Uke on the Nasty Chat says nobody was showing it in Canada. So I guess that's why we didn't know about it. I guess you couldn't watch this in Canada. On. So anyway, it's kind of disappointing. I'm intrigued by those 4 guys. I probably would have dabbled in it a little bit at least. All right, yeah, so Cody, man, I did not see this coming yesterday. Like I had heard last week that they were thinking about just going with a younger quarterback alongside Trey. And then the Cody Fajardo trade comes down. Now they're going to have to rework his contract here a little bit, but part of it makes sense to me. Part of me still surprised by it. What are people saying outside of this market?
Well, I mean, it's funny. I saw some people that I respect saying that Cody Fajardo is going to be the starter of the Elks by Labor Day. Remus said yesterday he thought that, with the veteran quarterback, he might start the start of the year. I'm like, there's no way that Trey Ford doesn't get the keys at the beginning of the season. You correct me if I'm wrong, if you think that there's a possibility.
No, he signed a 3-year, $1.2 million deal. They're going to ask Cody to rework his. We discussed this exact thing this morning. Like, they want Trey to be the starter. Unless he comes in and has a god-awful camp and Fajardo looks amazing. And even in that situation, I still think Trey Ford would start the season. Like, I understand where Cody could see a path to starting here easier than, 7 other markets in the league, but I would be stunned if Fajardo is the starting quarterback to begin the season. I don't see a world where that happens.
I'm with you. And it'll be up to Trey to continue to be the guy and hold on to the job. But if MBT wasn't going to be here, if he wasn't going to be the starter, I think it's a great move for Edmonton if they can get the numbers working right. I mean, Cody Fajardo is a great guy, awesome teammate. I think he'll be a guy that'll really support Trey well. By the way,
he can handle all the short yardage stuff. Like a veteran guy who can get in there and handle that stuff too. Easy.
See, I'll be honest, and I know that's the way things work in the Canadian Football League is you have your backup that does all the short yardage.
In a lot of situations, it's the third guy that does it, but
I mean, yeah, I don't really think, I guess Cody can run a little bit. To me, I just keep Trey Ford in. I mean,
I don't think they do that though. Yeah.
Because he can throw as well. I mean, you can
But Cody can throw too.
You could do some serious damage to defenses that are expecting just the sneak every now and then, especially on second and short, if you're feeling confident that you can get it with Trey Ford. By the way, you probably haven't looked at this. I hadn't in a long time. Grey Cup futures for next year.
I haven't looked at these.
Okay, don't look. Don't look. Who do you think the favorite is?
Great question. Toronto?
Yes. Toronto.
Okay, let me run the table. Don't tell me. Let me try to run the table here. Toronto, Winnipeg.
Nope.
Really?
Yeah, the Winnipeg is tied for third.
Tied for third?
Yeah, so Toronto's one, there's a team, and then Winnipeg tied for third with another team.
Montreal.
Yes.
Okay.
Montreal is plus 350.
Toronto, Montreal, Winnipeg will be tied with Oh, man. The Riders?
They're just ahead of the Riders.
Okay, so then the Lions are tied with Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the number, so plus 275 for Toronto, plus 350 for Montreal. What do you think the Bomber BC number is?
425.
625.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
625 for the Bombers and the Lions, and plus 650 for the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Now, okay,
So it's close,
6 through 9. 6 through 9. This will be interesting to see because, I mean, to me, throw all these teams up in the air. But again, a lot on last year, I would say.
Let's go. Oh, Ottawa, Edmonton, Hamilton, Calgary.
Ottawa,
Hamilton, Edmonton,
8-1. Hamilton, 1250. Calgary, 17.
What?
Elks, 22-1.
Man, I get the VA bump for Calgary, but they have so much work to do there. Like, if people think a quarterback is going to solve the Stampeders' issues, they are way off. Well, fun little exercise though. That was a riot.
Hey,
I got fired up.
Elks fans that are feeling all sorts of optimism about this new look team, realizing the West, I think, is as wide open as it's been in certainly 5 or 6 years. You know what you do? You go to Coolbet. You throw $10, whatever, on the Elks to win the Grey Cup, and do it for whatever the domination you want. Do it times the amount of people in your family. And then on Christmas morning, you're sticking a little Elks future in the stocking
For the holidays.
And you'll be able to cheer. You know what? You should do that for your kids. Actually, but you know what? You get Marsh the plus 625 Bomber number.
Yeah, of course I will. He wouldn't accept anything else. I give him an Elks ticket. He's going to rip it up. Mike D in the chat says, you mean Cody Fajardo doesn't make the Elks instant favorites? And I understand the joke. However, Huss, let's just say this. I mean, Cody Fajardo 2 years ago won a Grey Cup. And last year, after Vernon Adams got hurt, before Cody got hurt, he was kind of like, I don't know who the MOP is going to be, but it's probably going to be Cody. Like, this guy's not washed. In the last 18 months, he's won a Grey Cup MVP and was a front runner for the MOP in the middle of the season. Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's been nice. Oh, by the way, I see Yuch just said Bills or Bengals defense. What an awesome choice to have to make this week. The Bills are 14-point favorites against, is it the Pats?
The Pats.
And then Jameis has been benched. I think they're going with DTR, so I think I'd probably go with the Bengals there.
Play Jameis, you cowards. But yeah, it might go. I mean, either way, I think you're going to be in a pretty good spot over there. All right, so yeah, it's interesting to see what happens with the next quarterback positions around the Canadian Football League. I think Jake Merritt of the Riders would make a lot of sense, but we'll see what ends up. And Trevor Harris did say he took what he would view as a team-friendly deal if he's still one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. So maybe that team-friendly deal has Jake Merritt end up with the Riders as well. All right, Huss.
Oh, he's back? He re-signed?
Trevor Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got, I think it was announced last week or late the week before, a 1-year deal that he described as, if you think I'm still one of the elite quarterbacks in the league, it's a team-friendly deal. So it's probably in the 400 range as well, I would think.
I assume that was happening, but just had not.
I think he's the right guy for that team right now. I think they can win with him.
You want to take a look at this hockey slate before we're done?
Yeah, I was just bringing up the starting goalies here. So let's give you a look. What's up with all of these cookies and stuff? Whatever. All right, here we go. Starting goalies tonight. in the National Hockey League. Philadelphia and Detroit. Alex Lyon will start for the Red Wings. Samuel Ersson will get the start for Philly. Stolar's hurt for Toronto. Joseph Wall will get the start. The Leafs are in Dallas to take on Jake Ottinger and the Stars. Those are both confirmed. Marc-Andre Fleury is confirmed for Minnesota tonight at home against Florida. That should be a pretty good hockey game. Bobrovsky listed as unconfirmed. Vancouver's on the road in Utah. Demko's unconfirmed right now. Vejmelka is currently confirmed for Utah. And then the late game tonight, Anaheim and Winnipeg. And it's Comrie and Dostal at this point unconfirmed. So it's a classic Wednesday slate. 5 games to work with in the National Hockey League tonight. What do we got? We got Detroit's minus 115 favorites at home. Dallas minus 135 at home against Toronto. The Panthers are minus 147 on the road, coming off that win against the Oil. Winnipeg Jets minus 182. Pretty decent number. Back-to-backs, obviously, against the Ducks. And then Utah minus 122 at home. We mentioned yesterday, they're 6-2-2 in their last 10. They've been playing pretty good. So they are favorites at home against the Vancouver Canucks. What's the first thing that you're looking at here, buddy?
Well, the Red Wings and Flyers just played like last week. And the Flyers got the best of Detroit 4-1 at home. Detroit, for their part, had that really, really ugly run where they lost 5 in a row, but they've actually won 2 of their last 3, including that win over the Maple Leafs in their last time out. Considering where they are right now, this is a massive game for Detroit. At 12-14, trying to get to 500, and then get a little closer to the Ottawa Senators, who are running on hot right now with Linus Ullmark not letting in any goals. I think I'd lean Detroit in that game. And I am looking forward. I can't help but think about these 2 road teams taking on rivals of the Jets. The Leafs at plus 115 against the Dallas Stars. I don't mind that. Toronto coming off a loss. And then the Panthers and the Wild. And listen, Minnesota has been so good this year, putting up wins pretty much against all sorts of competition. They did get a major setback recently to the Oilers, of course, as we remember. 7-1. They bounced back with a win over the Flyers, and then they lost to the Golden Knights 3-2. I think the Florida Panthers are the best team in the league. They were shut out on the weekend in Calgary. They bounced back with that crazy win over Edmonton. I'd like a better number on this. I think it's a little disrespectful to Minnesota that's 27-4. But I will admit I do lean. Now, this might be my Jets bias coming up, fading both Dallas and Minnesota at home. But yeah, I don't know. I kind of like the Leafs and I kind of like the Panthers. The Jets on the second end of back-to-backs at minus 182 is a number I'd probably just stay away from. And then Vancouver, Utah. I don't know. Where are you at on that one? Utah's going with Vejmelka, you said, and is it Demko?
It's Demko listed as unconfirmed at this point. So
listen, I think they're going to probably get him in. The guy's missed most of the year so far. You know what? I think I'll lean Vancouver in that one. Just in that, we've always been taking a lot. Utah has won 4 of their last 5 with wins over Buffalo, Philly, a 5-4 loss to the Wild, and then road wins in Colorado and against the Sharks, but are back home. And they have they have not won 3 in a row all season long. Yeah. So I think they do like the Canucks in that spot.
I think I don't mind getting on the Leafs Stars game, but I think if we're throwing it into a parlay, I know if you like the Leafs, the number is plus 115, which is way better than the number I'm going to suggest. But I'm going to suggest we move it to 6.5 and take the under for a parlay. It's minus 154. Dallas's last 10 game or last 8 games, under 6, under 6, under 5.5, under 6. They had a 6-2 win against Calgary that was over 6, then under 6, under 6, under 6. So they have finished under the total of being just 6 in 7 of 8. And we know the Leafs are playing better defensively this year than they have in the past, and they're getting much better goaltending. So I think I like the under 6.5 at minus 154. If we were to put that with the Panthers at minus 147, and then what'd you say, Huss? The Canucks?
I like the Canucks at plus money.
Okay, so if let's just say we put the Canucks in at plus 103, that gets it to plus 463. If you're okay with the Leafs and Stars under 6.5.
Yeah, let's do that. What do we get? We'll go Panthers, Canucks, and the under 6.5 plus 463. Evdog and the fellows will take that upwards of 5-1. I think we can count.
One more note on that Florida play against the Wild. Minnesota in their last 5, and they'd won 5 in a row before that, wins over horrible Buffalo, Chicago, who's not good but screws us in the lock shop, beat Nashville, who's been bad all season, beat the Canucks in overtime, beat the Ducks 5-1. In their last 5 games, they've played Vegas, they played Edmonton, and they've played LA, and they lost all 3 of those games. Their wins were against Utah and Philly. So their last 3 games against competition that I would put on the same level as the Florida Panthers, they have lost. So that's another reason to maybe back the Panthers here at minus 147.
Yeah, and then they come on down to the peg for season's beatings Saturday night. Our next, we sold out the WST section.
Did you?
For those
how many seats in the WST section, Huss? Like, what are you guys doing? I'm just curious. Well,
I mean, I think they normally grab us like 4 rows of 10 to 12 seats.
Oh, that's not bad. So you're rolling in 60 folks?
Yeah, but so the thing is, we sold those out, and it's going to kind of also double as a bit of a WST holiday party. So everyone will get festive. It's the holiday game, so it should be a lot of fun. But they did we found, I think there were 2 more foursomes in that section and a couple threesomes. So I think they've added those. So again, if you are in Winnipeg, you're thinking about coming to the game, join us. You'll get a beer with your ticket off the Jets 360 app. Just go to winnipegjets.com/WST and jump on that. All right. Well, I'll fire that over to Pat.
Yeah, send that to Patty.
To get taken care of for us.
We have actually, I got to send this one to him too. We did the random internet wheel for our NFL parlay, and what did it give us today? The wheel gave us Tampa, and we could choose money line or spread. We took Tampa -4 against Dallas. The damn wheel went with the Chicago Bears plus 6.5 against the Lions. And then we got Atlanta just on the money line at -476. So that all worked out to plus 363 before the boost. But I'm going to have to throw that to Patty in our lock shop chat as well. Let's do that. Try to get that up too.
Or under 6.5.
Poor Patty with Jake on vacation this week. We're just hammering him with parlays.
I know. But the D-Gen Den, we miss Jake. You know, he's out in the Dominican or whatever.
Having the best life.
Yeah. What's Jake doing right now? He's got a Corona or some
probably watching the lock shop and not commenting because he doesn't want us to know that he's watching the lock shop when he's on vacation. That would be number 1 on my list, I think. Cowboy on the chat says the Stars are 13-3 at home. Yeah, but luckily we decided to put them on the under 6.5 instead. So we'll see if that's
like the Leafs. I still like the Leafs.
You do like the Leafs, eh? I can't believe the Caps blew it last night. I still can't believe the Caps blew it. I mean, you know what that happened? That probably happened as I was imploding in the poker tournament, and I just didn't decide to check any sports out after that.
Yeah,
so you're right. I should have got my act together after. I was still okay. I think I was in like 19th after I lost that hand.
It was the dramatics of the loss combined with the stream that made it look way worse than it was. You're so lucky. Like, that normally would be a situation where you could get bounced out of the entire tournament.
They could take everything they had. Yeah, you're right.
The fact of the matter was you had like 18,000 chips. That guy had 4, and you still had 14 at the end. I mean, if you'd won the hand, it wouldn't have been that massive a hand just because of who was going up against you. So it is what it is. The rink's good. I hear you guys are real cold this week. So,
buddy, are you talking about my rink? Over? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's... I got a late start on it this year because I was sick. I was like, oh, man, am I even going to do it? Then I got the board. I had to shovel the backyard so I could get it level to put the boards up. I put the boards up. And then like Saturday morning, I was like, screw it. I'm putting the liner down and I'm starting to flood. And I've been flooding hard. Like I put 2.5 hours worth of water on there last night. And now we're getting like a blizzard today. And I'm thinking tomorrow when I go and shovel it off, it's going to be skatable. Like I've put this much water on there in like the last 4 days, and it's freezing quick. So I might have got lucky with this window.
It's on there.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like I flooded for like an hour at this end, and then at our first break, I went out and flipped the hose to the other end, and I looked at that one end, and I was like, damn it, it always looks like that's frozen. I've been flooding there for an hour. Like it's just instant freeze right now. So good if you're building a rink. Not great if you want to be outside. How about those guys tailgating our Christmas party this morning outside?
Psycho.
One of them beat me to work. I rolled in. He was already there. See you later, buddy. Merry Christmas, man. Love you too. Yeah, it's just I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, we're tailgating the Christmas party. It's like, you guys are nuts. So yeah, it was great. A lot of fun. They had the little grill going out there and everything. It was terrific.
That is the best. That is the best. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Jason and Leduc for punting me for the tourney last night. I think he was liking my Elks Christmas present. He said that he might put the Hustler bounty in some Elks futures. So good for him on that. And well, I guess our final act of the lock shop is to wish you and everyone else a happy holidays.
I'll miss you, buddy.
And as I say, well, stay in touch. Best of luck to Marshall, the Muzz, your wife.
I'd like to hop on lock shop from my parents' place, but my wife would kill me. She'll be like, just give it up for a bit, man. Yeah.
Paul Graham's calling me for some reason.
I have to go. It's my boss at TSN. He might be offering me a good hockey gig. Kidding. Yeah. Why does Dusty go downstairs every single day for an hour at 11 o'clock? I don't know. It's really weird. I'm on here with like a blurred out voice and face. You don't technically, like I'm in witness protection. You don't know, but I'm still dropping pics on you. So anyway, I'll be texting pics to the boys and stuff too. So Merry Christmas, buddy.
Yeah, right back at you. I will be cementing my Lock Shop Host of the Year award over the next couple of weeks. I believe Pat is going to come in, and listen, Pat has always come in, but I think Jake is getting the sixth man of the year, if you will, because Jake came up huge while you were away for that time, and then Jake is going to be back next week when Pat's away. And he'll be
shout out Matty Iwanek for filling in sometimes too, being out of his element a bit, right? So,
well, listen, Matt Iwanek's been great. Oh my God! Just quickly on the final comment of the two of us of the Lock Shop. How about hockey Twitter 2 days ago? It was the biggest day in hockey Twitter. Dom Lasician getting the biggest ratio in hockey Twitter since Andrew Berkshire took a run at Zach Hyman.
What did Dom do? I've got him muted. I didn't even see it. I've got. What did he do?
Okay, so in a nutshell, and you really need to go and read.
I'm
this
gonna have to go look this up. Then I'm gonna have to go look this up
for yourself. So Dom was going at Tony D'Angelo, on Twitter, and D'Angelo was kind of going back and then there was actually, some rather cordial back and forth. And the guys from the What Chaos show said, well, you know what, we should come on. And he basically sort of agreed to do that, to come and debate. Now, I guess some of the, how do I put this? Some of the, his confidants on that far left side of hockey Twitter, of which there are many, gave him a hard time for, quote, platforming Tony DA, who is an idiot in his own right. Please don't take this as me being a big Tony D'Angelo guy. And then instead of just saying, when he got some pushback from some people that are his friends, instead of just saying, hey man, I'm not doing it, or it's not going to work out, did a LeBron James type notes app apology of 4 or 5 paragraphs, maybe the most ridiculous thing on social media and hockey Twitter for the year. And he is getting, if you want to have some fun, just read the comments. Comments, quote, tweets. It's a full ratio now. There's more comments than there are likes.
Oh, by far.
So that was how it started. So Lib Hockey Twitter and MAGA Hockey Twitter were already butting heads. And then later on at night, Tim Peel, Tyler Yaremchuk with Matt Iwanek off the top rope into the steel cage and those guys going at each other. It was the holidays are here. Everyone's fighting with each other. That was the spiciest day of Hockey X all season long.
I know we got to get going. I'll quickly wrap with this. I was outside flooding, and I look at the phone, and it's this Husk going, Maddie and Tim Peel in a steel cage match right now on Twitter. I was like, oh, God, what are we doing? That was funny. All right, you got Winnipeg Sports Talk coming up in like less than a minute. We got the oil stream going to be right around the corner here on EST as well. That's going to do it for the Lock Shop. Huss, happy holidays, buddy. I will chat with you in 2025, man.
Yeah, right on. Well, I'll text you over the holidays. And to the ESTers, Dusty, a few guys will be gone.
Host of the year.
Be here.
Host of the year over here. Easy peasy.
We keep grinding. We have winners that we need to get. But don't forget, text me your picks for Friday. This is a big weekend in the NFL. Patty and I will be all over that. Everyone have a good one. I will see you tomorrow. Dusty, best to you and your fam.
Yeah, see you guys later.